Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles, the elders, great millstone, and much love and salutations to all you Akim out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So, the title of this video is going to be Stick to Your Plan and Finish the Race. And with that, I'm just going to dive right into the scriptures here, and Lord willing, it will be edifying. This is 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, and the 24th verse. It says, Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. Right, and this verse right here reminds me of the scripture, many are called but few are chosen. You know, it says here that everybody that runs in this everybody runs in this race, which could be likened to the truth, because the truth is a race, more like a marathon, but it's like a race. And when you call yourself an Israelite, you're in that race. And it says here that know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, meaning very few out of the wide multitude, the broad multitude, actually receives the prize, which is finishing to the end and obtaining ultimate salvation. So a lot of these people that get into this truth, they don't even finish. So reading on verse 25, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. And one of the things that helps you obtain that prize is mastering your craft, being temperate in all things. I just looked up temperate. I have it here on deck actually, and it says to be self-controlled, continent, to control oneself, in a figure drawn from athletes who in preparing themselves for the games abstained from unwholesome food, wine, and sexual indulgence. So just like athletes, in a race, how they physically abstain from all these things that can like wear down their body, that can get them out of shape. They've learned like discipline, to govern and control themselves in a certain way. And how much more so the men of the Lord, following the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We abstain from unwholesome foods, crab, shrimp, pork, and lobster, the dietary laws, and, all types of sexual indulgence, adultery, wicked fornication, all kinds of stuff like that, like in the spiritual race, like, tying that in. So I'll read that again. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Those that want to get that prize and endure all the way to the end to receive to receive ultimate salvation. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. All you other cats that participated in a race but didn't make it until the end. You're in the race for a corruptible crown. Whether you're in it for like personal glory, where you're in it just to seek attention, to be a part of something like some kind of fad, whether you're in it to make money, whether you're in it to just straight up deceive people, like deceive the flock, or build a kingdom in Babylon. You're in the race. You're an Israelite. That you're an Israelite, but you're in this race for a corruptible prize. Something that's not everlasting. Reading on, but we an incorruptible. So those that are. That's why we say peace to the elect, and shout out to Akim that's doing this thing in truth and sincerity, because those are the ones that are after the incorruptible crown. Striving for the mastery, and to be perfect in this truth, and to finish and to endure to the end, and get and receive that crown and that prize. Reading on verse 26, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. Because another thing too, a lot of you niggas you're running in this, you're running in this race. You're in this truth, but you don't even know why you're in the truth. You're just running. You're just there. You're just going along with the motions. You know what I'm saying? So it says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. You know, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. And that's right. Picture somebody just like swinging wildly out of control, like at the air, like you're aiming for a target, but you're missing your target, and you get like, think of a fighter actually, like think of like Floyd Mayweather, like and the accuracy and like the methodical movements, like every move that he makes is methodical, like he throws a punch with the intention of landing it. So how much more so should we in this truth? Like every little move has to be smart and wise and concise, and that also helps us. As it would help Floyd Mayweather. Like in a fight, if he missed all his punches, what would he do? He would get gassed out. He would get tired. You know what I mean? So same with us spiritually. Every move that we make, we have to hit our spiritual target, so that we can conserve our stamina and just and and keep our energy, so that we can just like so that we can like persevere at our own pace. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say stick to your plan. Because the Lord has has a pace, has a lot of gifts and certain talents for every brother in this truth, and not everybody can run as fast spiritually as another brother. One another, everybody was given their own lot. Like you have a part of the body. You have eyes, ears, arms. You have a toe. You have like every, we're all a part of the body, but we're all meant for different purposes to keep the body functioning. You know what I'm saying? So I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, meaning we're supposed to run in this truth, knowing what we're doing. We have to have our plan, and we have to stick to that plan. We have to know why we're running and why we're in this truth. And that's to endure and finish. That's otherwise you might as well not even be in the race. He that put his hand to the plow, and looketh back is not fit for the heavenly kingdom. You know what I'm saying? It's of roughly paraphrasing. And what's the other one? It's a terrible thing to fall in the hands of the living power. You know what I mean? When you fall out, he's just gonna the Lord, the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, is just gonna cast you out of His sight. And you're gonna live you're gonna have, because you sought after that because you sought after that corruptible crown instead of that incorruptible crown. You know what I mean? And you're gonna live in the kingdom in shame. That's what happens if you walk in this, if you run in this truth with uncertainty. So fight I, not as one that beateth in the air. So when we make our moves, we don't waste anything. Spiritually, we're every move that we make is for progress, so that we can endure and not be fucking around and wasting our time. And another thing too, that kind of inspired this lesson, was the gym actually, because the gym's a pretty spiritual place, and I like the elliptical machine personally. And long story short, I remember I was getting distracted because I don't really like working out like directly next to people. I don't know, I'm just weird like that. I went off to a elliptical machine in the cut, and then like I was surrounded by two people to the right of me after I got on the machine, and basically, to keep it short, like their timing started throwing my timing off. Like I came on to the treadmill with a certain plan to run for like 40 minutes and of continuous running at like a certain pace, and finish strong at the end. But me getting distracted, like in the peripheral vision, I don't know why, like I noticed myself trying to like keep pace with the other two that are running alongside me. And what ended up happening was I ended up like because I was going at a different pace than what what my plan was. I ended up gassing myself out before the 40 minutes was done. I mean, I finished, but like I could have finished so much stronger. You know what I'm saying? And that's why and that's kind of like and that's why I said the gym is spiritual, man. Because like I thought about it, I was harping on it, and I was like, you could tie that in with this truth. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. you have to focus on yourself. You have to stick to your plan that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gave you as your personal lot. You can't get distracted. You can't worry about what the next man is doing next to you or whatever. You have to stick to your plan that sought out to do, in which my plan was 40 minutes of a particular pace. But here I am trying to keep up with two other cats that are probably doing a completely different workout. Like I'm doing a fat burning exercise and they're doing cardio, or this guy's doing intervals. You know what I'm saying? Like it, you gotta. We all have to walk our own paths in this truth, and I got a scripture on that. This is Galatians chapter 6 verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in one another. For every man shall bear his own burden. And that's why I brought up that that example at the gym, because it's very spiritual and it's true, and it carries over into this truth. You know what I mean? We're all in this truth. We all look out for one another. We're all brotherly. We're all charitable towards each other. But at the end of the day, we're in this truth. I'm in this truth for myself. You know what I mean? Let Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, bless and look after the next man. But I have to concentrate on my due diligence, that I make my calling and election sure. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too about counting the costs and knowing why, and knowing why you're running in this race. You know what I'm saying? You're in here to finish, and you're in here to concentrate on yourself. Now imagine like a marathon. If you're trying to catch up with people that can run faster than you can, and that what you're capable of running, you're gonna burn yourself out, and you're not gonna finish that race. You know what I'm saying? And that's the goal. Like, it doesn't say finish the race quickly. The point is to finish the race at at your own unique pace that the Lord blessed you with. That's what's mostly important is finishing. So that's it on that. For let every man bear his own burden. You know what I mean? We're all in this together, but we're all in here as individuals as well. So I have another scripture here. I'll probably wrap it up with this. This is Hebrews, the 12th chapter, and the 1st verse. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which doth so easily beset us. Beset meaning compass us, surround us. And let us run with patience the race that is set before us. And I just want to harp on that word weight, because it says let us lay aside every weight. What's things that are weighing us down? Demons. Demons could be doubt. Demons can be distractions. These things that weigh you down spiritually, the same way that it can do physically. Like if you're running on and you're trying to keep up with somebody else, if you somehow get distracted, or you're not focused on your thing, on your run, you can easily just all of a sudden just the spirit could just leave you, and all of a sudden you don't even feel like finishing. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that weigh you down, especially demons, man. Like having doubt in your mind, or like trying to be distracted in this truth, that's just going to weigh you down. So, wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, because we're surrounded by sin. Our bodies are sin. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and this is a race that we're talking about spiritually. In order, these are this is jewels and beautiful tips to help us endure this race that we're in. So it says, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, because it's just so easy to mess up. Like what does it say? A righteous man falleth, 7 times, stumbleth. Roughly paraphrasing. Salaki if I butchered that, but it's just so easy to stumble in this truth, especially because we are sin. Our flesh, it's impossible. We sin every day. You know what I mean? That holds us back. But it's 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 good to lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us. So lay aside everything that you can as much as possible, and just and don't let that weigh you down. And let us run with patience the race that is set before us. And it says patience. Patience going back to suffering, but patience also meaning like pace yourself. You know, you can't just, like, it's not a sprint. You can't just race to the end. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna burn yourself out. Spiritually. That's why we have balance. Verse 2, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith. So Yahweh Shai is the author and the finisher of our faith. Notice it says finisher. So another key to us finishing is Yahweh Shai. He's the ultimate key, to us finishing, this race that we're in. And I'm gonna show you how, right? Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself. So Yahweh Shai is that example that we have, of someone that endured this race, that finished. You know what I'm saying? With so many contradictions of sinners against him. So I'll read that again. For consider him that endured such contradiction, opposition, demons, demons going up against him. Yahweh Shai was catching all types of hell, but he bared that cross, So for consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. So, sticking to the scriptures, sticking to your plan to endure to the end, and going with the lot that Yahweh Shai gave you, and taking Yahweh Shai as an example, and consider him, meditate upon that, meditate upon what he went through, and apply that to yourself. Use that as that spiritual energy that because Yahweh Shai is within us all, talking to the elect, and he can give you that energy, that boost to finish the race, and to finish the race strong, and that's the key, man. That's the key. Lest ye be weary and faint in your minds, and you're just gonna fall off and fall by the wayside. So that's the Lord willing, edifying. Stick to your plan, which is to endure to the end, and most importantly, finish the race. Right? Finish the race. Right? Shalom, Hakim.